Good morning, everybody. This is a most exciting day in the transformation of the Tennessee safety net. And we've been a long time in getting to this. And I want to begin by thanking the board. This board has guided this effort with a gentle but firm hand to help us to get to this important moment. In fact, what you are going to witness and be a part of today was the brainchild of one of our board members. Chairman Watson said that what we ought to do here is we want to have a sort of Shark Tank-like approach to determining where these important resources are going to go. What we know is that there are a lot of entities that are good in writing a grant. You know, they know how to put it on paper well. But Chairman Watson said we want them to bring this to life to help us in our decision-making efforts. So I want to again thank the board for all of your work here. And quite frankly, folks, this next 2.5 weeks is going to be where we really dive into each of these offerings so that we can determine where we are going to put in place $175 million to transform Tennessee's safety net and families. And I also want to thank our terrific staff. It is, all we have had to do is sort of lay out the objective, and we have a highly competent, crack staff that has made every bit of this happen. Dakota Simpson has project management this thing to the nth degree. Every bit of it is scripted and has guided us along very well. And all of the rest of the team, spearheaded by Suzanne Carr, have supported this effort, quite frankly, from the development of the legislation to this point. So my profound thanks to all of our staff. And finally, let me just create a little context for us. We had in Tennessee, we had built up a pretty challenging problem in that in our Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, we had amassed a significant unspent balance that got north of $700 million. And of course, we got beat about the head and shoulders for having such a reserve and still having a wealth of families with dependent children in Tennessee that had challenges to making their life work. So the first thing, the good thing that both the governor and the executive and the legislative branch did was made the decision that we're not just going to rush these dollars out the door just to get beyond the pain point of the moment, but we are going to be very thoughtful about how we make the most impactful utilization of those dollars. And so out of that thinking came the TANF Opportunity Act. And the idea of the act is it's a two-pronged mechanism. One prong is a forced spending guidance that gets us to the place where not only are we going to spend down what we currently have, but also set a ceiling so we never have more than 1 year's worth of that Temporary Assistance for Needy Families grant in escrow, if you will. So $191 million is what we receive every single year. And the legislation requires us to spend all but 1 year's worth of the grant. So that's the one part of the TANF Opportunity Act. The second part, and it's really what brings us here today, is to look at how we can put these dollars in place in a most impactful way. And so the legislation requires that we would have 7 pilots that were 2 in each of the 3 grand divisions, and a 7th which the Department of Human Services will operate. The idea behind those pilots are community collaborations that look at, in a practical way, how do we approach this idea of growing capacity to reduce dependency. And to say just a little bit about that is the challenge that the safety net has writ large. And this is not simply a Tennessee problem. This is an American safety net problem. We have a system which is dedicated to providing benefits, goods, or services to every condition known to humankind. As long as an individual or family meets the criterion to receive that benefit, good, or service, and there's funding available, they can receive those services. There is no intention in that system to grow individuals and families beyond the vulnerability that has them need those benefits, goods, and services. And we believe that a safety net, it should act as a trampoline, not a hammock. That when people fall, they fall into that safety net, bounce back up, and are able to get back into the race of life. And so what we're going to do here in Tennessee is we are going to showcase that through these 7 different pilots. We had more than 80 community collaboratives submit abstracts for us. Those abstracts were culled down by this board to 17 planning grants, where we provided additional funding and we said, you have a compelling idea. So now do us a favor and put some more meat on the bones. And then we will make determination of where these 7 implementation grants are going to go. And that is what we are here for today. We are to begin the review of the 17 planning grants. So today we will have presentations from half of those planning grantees that will sort of whet our appetite as a board for then what we are reviewing over the next couple of weeks to make a determination on who these 7 implementation grants are. Folks, please understand how important what we are doing today is to the future of the Tennessee safety net. Okay? It is important because what we are going to demonstrate in Tennessee is that with intention and bringing together all of the elements of Tennessee, we can create the enabling conditions for all Tennesseans to thrive. That is our objective here. I thank so much for you joining us this morning. Again, board and staff, thank you so much for what all you've done here. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle in order to get us started, or back to Dakota. Thanks, folks.